Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Car Addiction. Today I'm going to talk about how to winterize your baby and keep her inside for next, oh my god,
4 to 5 months.
If this is your first time in my channel, I'm a huge Nissan enthusiast, a pathological financial mistake maker. I got an R32 Skyline, couple of 300ZX twin turbos, and over here we make bad financial mistakes. If you're under the 21 years old, stop, watch a cat video, talk to a female, which is a good thing. This is the time when the guy upstairs turns into Salt Bay and drop huge amount of white stuff all around and covers the ground with things that stops us from driving our beautiful love. It didn't sound good at all. Anyway, so this is the end of the season and you need to get your car in a storage under something, somewhere where it's not gonna get beaten by the weather, and also you want to protect it until the next driving season. First on the list on my menu to do is change the oil. Yeah, because this is what I suggest. You took it to track days, you took it to, long carvy drives, you drove it, every red light, you beat the Jesus out of it. That oil is dirty now, okay? Don't let that oil sit in the oil pan and on top of the gaskets and everything else over the winter. Before you store your car in, just do an oil change. You have to do an oil change every season anyway, all right? If you don't do your oil change every season, leave it in the comment section. I want to know why you don't do it every season, all right? And please give me a good explanation, because I have my reasons too. Do an oil change, it will save you a lot of hassle. A lot of us who uses their vehicle for track day events, they don't use a coolant with antifreeze. They just use straight H2O, water, because you're storing it for the season. And if you're storing it like me, not in a heated garage where the temperature is gonna go below zero, drain that, fill it up with some 50-50 antifreeze so that nothing freezes, nothing explodes, all of that shenanigans. Next thing, battery. These batteries are not gonna last, all right? Like all of these old cars, sometimes they have a parasitic drain. Most of these cars does have a parasitic drain, and your battery sitting here for 4 months, 5 months, oh my god, don't remind me of that. It's not gonna last, all right? Either you put a shut-off switch or take the battery inside, put it in a trickle charger. The best thing to do is leave a trickle charger inside the car, plug it somewhere so the battery is topped up and maintained all the way. Next season, the battery is ready and good to go, all right? The next on the list is gasoline. Make sure your tank is full all the way in, all right? Because if you leave any space inside the tank, these days, a lot of these gasolines have ethanol content in it, and ethanol loves to attract more water. You don't want water inside your gas tank because that will A, spoil the gas faster, B, it will rust the inside of the tank. None of them is good, all right? Fill it up all the way. The next thing you should do is add some fuel stabilizer. Canadian Tire has their own brand, MotoMaster fuel stabilizer. Lucas has a fuel stabilizer. Watch the link. What you need to do is see the recommended usage. So the MotoMaster product will say 30 ml for every 10 liters. So this vehicle takes a 45 liter tank. So I'm going to take 12 to 15 ml, drop it in the tank, and then have to run the car for a couple of minutes, all right? Here's why. Because you not only want the fuel stabilizer inside the tank, but also you want the fuel stabilizer inside the gas lines, all the way from the back to the front, inside the injectors and the return lines. Start it, idle it for, 5 minutes maybe. It's plenty of time. I get asked a lot, should I start my car in the middle of the winter or start every couple of weeks? The answer is yes or no. The answer is yes if you're inside a heated garage. Yeah, start it once a month or so that it gets you something to do because you're bored, wife and kids cooking up your head. Yeah, start the car, it's something to do. But if you're like me, it's parked outside under something and it's not temperaturely controlled, don't start it. Actually, don't even bother. Especially my car, or a lot of you out there who uses a higher viscosity oil instead of a 530 or a 030. I use a 1040. A lot of people like yourself, 1050 or something like that, use a thick oil. in a -20 or -30 degrees centigrade, these oils are like honey. When you start the vehicle, these oil pumps don't do a good job of bringing up the oil all the way and lubricating the bearings. The most amount of wear and tear you're gonna have in your car is when you do a cold start, specifically an extreme cold start. The more you can avoid, the better it is. Let it sit. Let it sit until the temperature is over 10 degrees. Yeah, start it. It's a good day for that. But until then, no problem. Just let it sit. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Because you are watching this video and you're gonna do all the steps that I'm gonna talk to you about. Next on the list is your tire. So what may happen is because the car sits on one specific location, you may get a flat spot. One of the ways to combat that is when you store your car, overinflate the tires. If your recommended inflation is 32 psi, inflate to 35 or 36. And another thing to do is park it on top of something soft. A soft foam pad, something like this, cardboard. All it does, it lets the tire fill its form rather than a hard surface. None of them is a guaranteed technique to stop the flattening. All of them is a good technique to minimize the flattening. A lot of enthusiasts who are worse in making financial mistakes than me would have a second set of tires with rims for winters. They call it rollers. So what they do is they take their good tires and rims off, put some crappy rims with tires because they don't really care if those tires get bald or whatever, and let it sit over the winter. That way, your good expensive set of tires and rims are safe. That's your good financial advice. Yeah. Next, let's go to the interior, all right? So the whole winter month, especially when you're parked outside, it's gonna get very cold inside. What you really should do is put some leather cleaner or a dashboard cleaner in your dash, or if you have leather seats, which I don't, put some of that product on the seats. All it does is moisturizes the product. When it's really cold, it doesn't shrink as much because repeated shrinkage and I use the word shrinkage. Anyway, compression and expansion creates cracks. You don't want your dash to crack or anything else to crack. All right, that's what you should do. And while you're there, you should also get some nice dryer sheets and throw them in the back, throw them inside. A couple of months down the road, when you open the door, it's gonna smell nice. And the dryer sheets do a very good job of absorbing moisture. So if there is any way moisture gets inside, the dryer sheets does a good job of absorbing that. So can't be bad. Well, that's all you need. Make sure there's no pure water inside your windshield washer fluid or a radiator. Change them with the appropriate antifreeze. If you haven't changed your transmission oil or diff oil lately, do that because you don't want to sit with dirty oil over the winter. And you should be good to go. Thank you for making it to the end of the episode. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And just because I put these cars to sleep for the end of the season, I'm not done. Winter time, baby. It's the time to buy parts. Fix all the issues with these cars because, you know, summertime we broke stuff. And get them ready for next spring. Again, hit the subscribe button and bell notification. A lot more stuff coming in.